And we are live. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of Respect the Craft. This is episode number 109. And I'm joined here by I should start saying one of the original voices here of Catalyst Wrestling, Stephen James. How's it going, brother? Good evening.
Hey, what's going on? How's it going? Thanks for having me on.
No, thank you for coming on. This has definitely been a long time coming here. It only took 109 episodes, but we're finally here.
109 episodes also is an accomplishment in and of itself. You know what I mean? Like that's pushing hard.
Oh, thank you. And it's funny though when I think about it that the legit first episode was actually a preview show like this. It was talking about our show last year when we were around this time as well. So it's a little funny. Here we go, 109 episodes later, and we're doing it all over. We're previewing another great Catalyst Wrestling event that'll be coming up in just a little over a week. So all things
Rock the Bell House.
Yep, all things Rock the Bell House in just a little over a week right here in Brooklyn. So it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time. But before we get into all that, Steve, I have to ask you the question I ask everyone that comes on, and that is, you heard the name of the show. It's called Respect the Craft. So when you hear that term, the craft, what does that mean for you?
What does the craft mean? It's really about understanding the people and the things that go into making what this thing is for other people as well. It's down to the minute details, the pride, the respect, the understanding that the moment you step into this business or you're invited into this business and you're deemed as paying your dues in this business, it's about understanding that those things that got people where they are important. The little things. It's about taking that time. The craft is what you share with people. The end product is, a beautiful thing, but it's the process to go from setting up the chairs to the last person walking out. That's the craft. It's the little in between.
There you go. Love that definition. Perfect there. But let's now get into this. Let's get into, for you, how was that process getting into the craft? What was it that got you in and wanted and found this approach of being, you know what? I love being able to call the action there and tell the story. How was that process for you?
I was a wrestling fan growing up as a kid. My grandmother, if you were an Italian immigrant as a kid in Brooklyn, growing up in the 50s, you were Bruno Sammartino, Mark. That's basically what my grandmother made me watch. So I grew up on wrestling. And then AJ Orsini and Matt Ryan were running shows out in the Bronx for 2KW. And they needed somebody to help run their sound. I had done some interviews on my old radio show because the radio is my first love. And then they invited me out to help with the sound. And then you know how it is with the wrestling business. Sometimes somebody cancels. We need something on the fly. Hey, you want to call these matches? It's like, oh, yeah, I would love to. I grew up wanting to be Bobby Heenan, wanting to be Gorilla Monsoon. Like, that's the team for me. So I got that opportunity. And then, obviously 2KW went in another direction, ultimately no longer running right now. And then starting up Capital, now Catalyst Wrestling. Matt Ryan brought me in and been there ever since. This still sticks in my craw. I'm not on the very first episode of the show. It's literally the only one that I'm not on. So I can't say I've done them all, but no one's called more matches for Catalyst than I have. We're going to hash that out later, Matt. We're going to retroactively go back in and redo Catalyst episode number 1.
We probably should at this point with all the rebranding that's happened. That should be a thing. Someone's going to need to keep a note of that. But no, that's why I said you are truly, especially with the team that has grown and has evolved with Catalyst, you definitely are the original voice of Catalyst Wrestling. When they think, especially the commentary team, it has to feature Stephen James. And there we go. Catalyst Wrestling says fine there. There we go. They're watching us. They know.
And I've had some great partners, and commentary is never an island unto itself. I mean, with the exception of Joey Styles doing his own thing and a couple of pockets here, I've had great folks call matches with me. The current commentary desk is fantastic. Brandon Liu right now and Chris Vega. And when we have our matchmaker Allison Danger join the desk as well, We've had some great athletes like Steve Monster Mac, HC Loke, who have loaded up on the desk. It's a really exciting time to be a member of that team and to lead that team right now.
Oh, definitely so. And again, just seeing where Callis has gone, the matches you're getting to call there. Again, we've seen some just great independent legends on there. Just recently at the last event, Alex Shelley.
Yeah,
on the card. That was definitely something to be able to call a match of his. That must have been great.
A few bucket list moments for sure when it comes to Catalyst Wrestling. That was definitely one of them. Tracy Smothers in 2019 in Nashville. That was a huge one for me. This company has given me a lot of great moments, and hopefully we've been able to give our fans a lot of great moments, and we're hoping to give even more on Sunday, January 22nd.
Definitely so. Again, that's going to be a fun night. That again, if you guys haven't already, get your tickets. Link in the description down below. This event, alongside a lot of other events that are coming this year, and also our previous. Go check out the Callis Wrestling streaming service now, because you're going to want to check out the great stuff we're talking about here, especially all starting with that very first episode in a freezing church. Some old times.
Yes. We've come a long way, baby. We've come a long way.
Hey, now we're in Brooklyn, so there's a start there. So it's a big thing there. It's a big city now.
For sure. Very important for us to reconnect to. Like, I'm Brooklyn born and raised. Matt is, a lot of the folks are. So to reconnect to our New York roots has been really fun this past year and a half, for sure.
And I feel like that's always been one of the things we spoke about, especially when the earlier stages, it was getting to New York.
Yeah.
Like it was those were the small steps, but hey, it meant a lot to finally get here now, seeing the reaction Callis has got being in this area. Like it's always that warm welcome. It's always an enjoying time. And you see it afterward, just people talking about when's the next show? And that's what you would want to see from a product. You'd love to hear that reaction from it.
Yeah, it's a hotbed of wrestling. New York is a great wrestling town. I mean, I know a lot of people are jaded about New York and jaded about wrestling, but when you come to a Catalyst show, and when you go to a lot of independent wrestling shows out there, you come away with some of the best entertainment you can get for your dollar, for sure. And you wind up leaving, what better than 4 p.m. on a Sunday to go see wrestling? You know what I mean? Like, that's pretty damn cool.
I will say that we do have a great time schedule, because thinking about especially the shows I used to go to back in the early days, it was always, you'll get there around 7, probably get out like at midnight or 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Now it's like, hey, you still get to enjoy your Sunday night afterwards.
Yeah,
hey,
for sure.
It's a good night of wrestling. Then it's like, okay, now go.
Now, and you also have time, like at the Bell House, to have a beer, have food afterwards. Same thing when we were at Chilo's in Greenwood during the summer. So it became not even just a wrestling event; it's a community event on a Sunday, which seems really cool. I like the vibe of that, how it's been.
Oh, definitely so. Well, let's start getting into this now. Let's start unpacking a little bit of what is Rock the Bell House next Sunday, again live from the Bell House in Brooklyn, New York. Let's get into this first one, because it's a huge matchup to not just start off here with. It is going to be the first ever. I want to know how this is going to work, because it's hard enough to control these two in there. A barricade match, as you have Ron Bass Jr. Yes, that same Ron Bass, his second generation here. Ron Bass Jr. going head to head with NWA's own Wrecking Ball Legursky. I still don't know if the Bell House is going to be able to contain these two.
That's the key word, is contain, because that's the best you can hope for with these two. We've seen the tension between them and the physicality building with them. And when you have two men, not only of that size, but of that freakish speed for that size, it's scary to be ringside around them. It's one of those things where, I've obviously seen Wrecking Ball Legursky more than Ron Bass Jr., him being a guy who came from, Hot Boys International into the business, but he's a guy who doesn't need anybody else either. He has cut through everybody on our roster. It doesn't matter. The man commands respect and he commands fear, but the business is also behind his back. So Ron Bass Jr., I don't know if the barricade, who it benefits more.
This is true, but again, I feel like it's one of those that we're hoping to contain it. because it's one of those. I don't know.
Well, hope
who's
is
gonna
the word.
It is because who's gonna tell these guys, hey, stop, stay in this area?
It's not gonna be me.
I definitely not me. I'm gonna stay in wherever area I can stay. I'm gonna try to stay behind you guys. That way I'm somewhat covered at the.
We'll keep a space under the table, under the commentary desk.
There we go. But here we go. I knew this comment was coming. Good old AJ Orsini, the OTP's in the chat saying, I'm a Steve James guy. There you go.
Love it. I mean, he's the guy. He's one of the guys who gave me my start in this business. I'm forever grateful for him. And if any of you have complaints about me, go see AJ. It's his fault.
Hey, it's the same thing I do with Matt. I'm like, hey, there's a reason there's a podcast here. It's because of Matt. So there you go. Yeah. These two guys have given us it's all them. It's funny. I keep getting that comparison now because of my commentary. I always get the AJ Orsini comment. So
it's a good comparison to have. It's a really good comparison to have. One of the most talented dudes I've ever met.
There you go. But no, definitely. And also, great podcast. If you guys haven't already, check out the catalog. Though AJ has stepped down from his, there's so much content there you can watch. Last episode featuring Stephen James on there as well. So definitely check out that episode. It was a good time. Matt, because it's you. Why wouldn't there be
heat? You come in with heat. You're hot-blooded.
It's like it has to. It has to match your hair color. It's that red heat. It has to be there.
The Prince Harry of wrestling.
But let's go from one hot matchup to the next here as we're going tournament action now. Let's talk about this as it is still part of the Catalyst Wrestling Women's Championship Tournament. It is going to feature one of the top 10 ranked wrestlers at the moment, Masha Slamovich, who's currently, I believe, wrestling on Impact's Hard to Kill. So go check that out as well. She'll be taking on JC Storm. A lot of controversy with this one as JC Storm tried to weasel her way out of the last matchup she was scheduled in the tournament, facing Queen Aminata and Valentina Vasquez, now trying to just make her way into, she already deserves a bye in this tournament. But Allison Danger, our lovely matchmaker, did not agree with that, and now she has to deal with Russian Dynamite Masha Slamovich here.
And that's biting off more than you can chew. I mean, JC Storm, like you said, trying to get out of that match, got out of that match, but then inserted herself at the end of the matchup, going after Valentina Velasquez. It was not a smart decision because there's a difference now in Catalyst Wrestling with Allison Danger. You don't poke the bear. And she poked the bear. And what happens now is there's consequences. Our women's division right now is on the precipice. It's the healthiest it's ever been. And either you're going to play ball with Allison Danger or you're going to pay the consequences. And she has a tough night in store for her with Russian Dynamite. That's going to be a hard one.
Definitely is. And again, I can't wait to see, especially now that, again, the Catalyst women's division is growing again. It's something to be seen. And I can't wait to see what happens continuing into 2023 here. But again, we're talking about this. Let's talk about the roster now getting a new member as well at Rock the Bell House here, as we'll see the official debut here. And I'm hearing some good things about him. I'm hearing some good things about he's coming from the South here. I want to see what's going to happen next Sunday because I want to hear more about what Jaden Newman brings, because he's definitely going to be a style I feel like New York isn't ready for.
Yeah, whenever folks come from other territories and other areas, they try and bring that little bit of swagger to New York, and I feel like this is going to be that case. What better way to make an impact? What better way to make your name known in New York than to just step right into Catalyst? We've seen a lot of people come in and try to do that, and there are still young, hungry athletes on our roster that probably won't take too kindly to that. So I'm interested to see how well that goes over.
It definitely, again, it's survival of the fittest. That's one of the biggest things when you come into that locker room. And there are some guys that definitely, I know they're making sure the locker room is to their standard, because even though they're called Saints, they're not that many Saints here. Let's go into this. Let's talk about the current Catalyst Wrestling Tag Team Champions, the Tri-State Saints, will
boy.
be at Rock the Bell House. You see that graphic there of just look at how much this has grown as well. Unfortunately, Joker out with injury, but the Tri-State Saints had more Saints in just in the catalog there. They had, and a big one too, in the Prince of Camden himself, Deshaun Pratt. But then they had, of the next generation, Machine Gun Money himself, Dominic De Niro, just heavy hitters in our Cals Wrestling Tag Team division there.
It's like a business. The Tri-State Saints, they don't stop. They just acquire more talent. They just get better. They get better. And when you've got Black G's and you got Monster Mac, when you have guys who have that sort of business acumen, and I'm not just, they're both about their money and about hurting people. And they do both very, very well. And it's evident by the fact that they've been your Catalyst Wrestling Tag Team Champions for one of the longest reigns, and in impressive fashion by taking everyone out, all comers. And then, he passes around, Black Cheese passes around the collection plate at the end of the night. Either you're going to pay it in sweat or you're going to pay it in money. Either way, he's getting paid.
Hey, that is what the church's money is all about there. And again, who would want to tell these guys no? Because again, just look at what happened to Peter Avalon at our last event. Dominic De Niro making an impressive showing. That image just keeps getting floated around because it's one thing to, again, just showcase your talent, but taking out a guy like Peter Avalon, elite status in Peter Avalon, it's
and even to speak to the viciousness of just, Monster Mac destroying the main event, stripping the mask off, that image of him walking around with Jay Lyon's mask, the whole thing. It's just a statement that they're trying to make in the tag division, in the company, and every time they walk out, it's with purpose. A lot of the tag teams there, if they're not ready to meet that sort of intensity and that purpose, they're going to get trampled on.
And it's one of those things that it's scary that they are not even afraid of, and just management alone. They've been just willing to do whatever it takes, wherever they'll attack our own ring announcer. They're attacking Brendan. They don't care.
To be fair, and while I don't condone violence on any of our officials, Brendan Sokler needs to realize that they're not the ones to play with. Get out of the ring. I feel so bad for him, but he does it to himself.
I'm trying to stay neutral here, but I'm trying to be nice because, again, we don't want to see anyone get hurt.
No, of course
not. I usually do agree with whatever the Theos do because I'm trying to make sure I'm good as well. Because exactly. I do still run a podcast with 1/3 of our Catalyst Tag Team Champions. So again, check out Glory Days podcast, guys.
Don't come anywhere near me.
Yeah, don't hurt us. We're good.
Please.
We support the Tri-State Saints. So,
I support not getting my legs broken. That's what I support.
There you go. But here we go. We have another one of our great commentary team here. We got Louis Brandon Torres, former guest of the podcast as well. Brandon Lou in the chat saying, I don't feel bad at all, man. See, someone has to just not feel bad. Someone just has to be like, hey, well, this is true. He, like Steve said, why would you antagonize them? This is true.
Wait, but he antagonizes me at the desk all the time. I'm going to hold you to that standard too.
Well, Steve, you could just beat him up at the commentary booth. Then we're gonna Fega has to step in or someone else. Then
Fega will be off at the bar having a beer. He'll be like, "I'll let you guys handle this."
Oh man! Oh well, here we go. Please don't kill our producer. Well, we're not doing anything, Matt. We're talking about what the Tri-State Saints doing. Sure. It's not us. I'm not killing anybody.
Cautionary tale. We're giving advice here.
Well, here we go. AJ saying, stop the ring announcer hate. Yes, but we're not hating. Again, this is what the Tri-State Saints do. We're just
safety first.
Well, you can tell him that, but again, I don't think the Tri-State Saints are gonna listen. Yeah,
I think it's gonna work.
Oh, there you go.
Maybe a Glasgow kiss.
But possibly, and that's gonna lead to even more. But hey, from that, let's keep it going here to another hard-hitting matchup. Because the freestyle division has it's been on fire lately. It's been featuring, we're seeing the rap battles, we're seeing everything come at once. And now it's going to feature just it's another controversial matchup here because we have Ghost Shadow, the newly freestyle champion winner here, 3 times. It's record breaking here, facing off against dead ass Carter Mason. That I still don't know what to think about this guy because.
Well, if you ask him, he's a native New Yorker. He took the 7 train.
Maybe it's because
the
he's
Bronx,
a Mets fan.
apparently.
That might be it.
Whoa,
Maybe it's because he's a Mets fan. Well, sorry, I'm a Yankees fan.
Don't attack me, please. You're hurting me. It's bad enough. It's bad enough.
I apologize. Again, I just had to say that. Maybe that's it. But I don't know. There's something about him that it doesn't connect. I don't know. Well, it seems a little more like he's more northern than we would think for New Yorkers. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely not. He seems more of a Yonkers guy, maybe.
Yeah, I think that might be it. Yeah, that's how far I'm thinking. I think that might be it. I don't know.
But look, he better be, from about thatville when he's going up against Ghost Shadow, because arguably, and I think this, and I would take on any comers with the argument, the most dominant professional wrestler in Catalyst Wrestling history has been Ghost Shadow. He can beat you every which way. He could beat you with speed. He could beat you with submissions. He could beat you with power. And he has. He holds the record for the longest reign of any title in our company. And he's won it now 3 times. Unprecedented.
Definitely so. And here we go. The comments are just going nuts about this match. We got AJ saying Ghost Shadow is that dude.
Absolutely.
Oh, here we go. Matt Ryan telling us he's from the 6th borough. He's from New Jersey.
You know better. Yeah. 6th borough. That's got to be some Stuyvesant math.
At least he's not from Staten Island, I guess.
That's true. That's true.
That's a thing.
That's true.
But definitely some Albany vibes. See, maybe Brandon Lou's right.
There you go.
It's somewhere up there. It's not.
That's rare. He's never right.
Yeah, we'll give it to him today. We'll give it to him today. We'll give it to him today. But again, this matchup, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing, because again, I know Carter Mason's definitely looking to continue that momentum, even though he got that loss to Homicide. You could see, though, he has that hunger. He wants to be able to prevail here and show why he is going to be self-proclaimed here, the next king of New York here.
And if you even going up against Homicide and losing is a win, because wrestling against and competing against somebody of that level elevates you just by the ability for you to be able to have to survive to get through to the loss with your life against someone like Homicide. That was an L, but it was a learning experience. So a big dub for him, and he's going to look to take that medallion from Ghost Shadow, which I think 2 men have done before. That's it in 3 years? Insane. Absolutely insane.
Well, and you could also see when you face Ghost Shadow, you're not left the same either. We're looking at that history. Both of these guys, unfortunately, they're out now. Ghost Shadow has stayed, though. He's remained the test of time here. We're going to see what he does at Rock the Bell House there. But here we go. Matt Ryan saying he's just reporting. He's a broadcast journalist reporting. Well, this week is proven.
It's not very good for wrestling broadcast journalists.
It's not that viable, so I'm not sure.
This just in: Catalyst Wrestling sold to Tanzania.
Well, there we go, guys. This is going to be the last podcast. That's it. I'm hearing through my headset here. I just got bought out. I don't know how. I wasn't for sale here, but somehow. But here we go. Since 2019, Ghost Shadow's lost 4 times. See, that's insane to think.
That's an incredible
Only 4
stat.
times.
Incredible
Only
stat.
4 times. Like,
taking that chip and dipping. You're right.
Hey,
like a Tostitos, I'm going to Tanzania. Let's go. I'm out.
Oh man! From that, let's go to this now. Because why not keep it going here? Because the GOATest of all time, your mom, my mom, Bobby Orlando will be at Rock the Bell House, and I still don't know what to expect here. It's still not. We still don't know what to expect when Bobby Orlando's in a building. And we're hoping there's nothing high, because we know what can cause Bobby Orlando to just want to do some crazy things. So
we haven't been able to expect what to expect from Bobby Orlando since the moment he walked into Catalyst. But over time, he went from this whiny managerial guy who kind of seemed like a hanger on to getting into the ring, getting whooped, to now growing into a threat across the way. He's insane. He's connecting with the audience right now in a way. You see folks buying the Bobby Jr. Juniors. They're out there holding the Bobby Juniors out there. The outrage when Bobby Jr. gets, pummeled, which he has not once, not twice, but thrice at this point.
I shed a tear when he just got kicked like a field goal. I was like,
yeah,
what is this abuse to poor Bobby Jr.?
Does he at least get frequent flyer miles? That's what I want to know.
Well, with that kick, he should have, because that was a perfect kick right there. But also the moonsault stomp, it's just been a constant abuse to poor Bobby Jr.
Yeah, and you know what? And to his credit, Bobby Orlando has taken that abuse himself as well and has found a way to still stay in there. He's one of the longer tenured members of our roster. And you don't hang around this roster. And to AJ Orsini's point about New York being a tough territory that it's hard to stay in, he is not only hung around, he is elevated. And now at Rock the Bell House, Sunday, January 22nd, we're going to see what's next for him. Charisma is right.
There you go. AJ Orsini saying it there. A charismatic dude. He really is. And again, I love to see what Bobby Orlando has evolved into. Again, this is all these last few years have been seeing that evolution, seeing who can last. Again, especially in a territory like this, especially where wrestling is going, you need to evolve or you're going to get left behind. But here we go. I have to read this comment because just why not? Can we get an Ehol then Meltzer gimmick? Why not? Someone needs to do it.
Put it in the Tokyo Dome. 7 stars. 7 stars.
Oh, there you go. But now let's go into this one here. Tag team action, because we love some tag team action here at Catalyst. And what a matchup this is going to be. Because it's truly we're going to get to see East Coast versus West Coast. Well, Catalyst fans are going to have to pick a side here because we have one of the top teams right now on the East Coast holding multiple tag team championships. The main event, who have been they're trying to make their way here in Catalyst. They're trying to finally get that first very important win here, but they've been just with the Tri-State Saints going to battle after battle. And unfortunately, this did not please Peter Avalon. He didn't like where this was going. They were constantly just getting attacked and brutalized, that he now wants to teach them a little bit of a lesson here. He's brought out a true OG of the game, the new age Punisher himself. When you think about legends of the golden era of independent wrestling, B-Boy has to come into play. And to see B-Boy make his way to the Bell House next Sunday is going to be insane.
It's going to be insane because you're going to hear the response. You're going to hear people like hushed breath because when the new age Punisher comes through, it's about to be violent. And it's the edge Peter Avalon might need because, make no mistake, the main event right now are angry. The main event right now are hungry because they have been disrespected this whole time. They've been disrespected this whole time. Every time they've come out to entertain our fans and push to the limits of their athleticism, get right to the pinnacle, just about to get the victory, the Tri-State Saints find a way to circumvent all measures of cooperation, of rules, you name it, to steal from them, to degrade them. And now Peter Avalon on top of that. The main event have had a rough road. I don't think that they can stand much more of this.
I definitely don't think they can, but this is definitely going to be a matchup to see will they be able to survive here? Can they finally get through this hump they've been in? And again, showcase why they're one of the best teams going right now on the East Coast. Again, you see their resume, winning the inaugural ECWA tag tournament, winning that tournament, winning those championships, holding gold in multiple companies right now. They're looking to show why they should be in line once again for those Catalyst tag team titles, and looking to show, especially because the Tri-State Saints are going to be watching that they're able to hang with veterans like this, like B-Boy, looking to show that Peter Avalon, again, this disrespect here might have came to bite him right back. So
Well, if the Tri-State Saints didn't inflict their will on the main event, Peter Avalon would not have been able to disrespect the main event. Now the main event is looking to correct that mistake and stop it at the water's edge with Peter Avalon showing them we're not going to do that anymore. Peter Avalon might not be accustomed to losing, and that's what pissed him off. But the main event isn't normally either.
this is one. Hey, on Sunday we're gonna finally see who was making that mistake. Was it Peter Avalon? Was it the main event? We'll finally get to see. And again, seeing B-Boy as well in the mix is definitely going to be something that you guys have to get your tickets for right now. Like I said, if you haven't already, shame on you. Get your tickets right now. Link in the description down below because it's going to be an event you're not going to want to miss. VIP seating is already sold out.
Sold
If
out.
you already missed on that, again, shame on you. Get your tickets now because it's going to be something that you're not going to want to miss here. But if we haven't already sold you on it, there's still so much more to go. So let's get into this one because this match here has just been a story to see. We finally see it, a one-on-one contest here. It will be there is no more intern here. There is no more Lucas. Twitch goes head to head with Dr. Sleep, the one above all, a man with very many names. But on this night, you might as well call him Mr. Revenge because Anthony Gangone looks to finally end this nightmare here with the Hudson County Horror Show, Zach Amico, and everything in between with this matchup here with Twitch.
This has been multiple years in the making for both men separately on independent journeys, now on a crash course with each other. Anthony Gangone having been attacked and systematically picked apart by the Hudson County Horror Show, having to beg, borrow, and steal just to try and get opportunities against them to get his hands on them. Now, on the other side, poor intern Lucas, we all felt for him. We all had sympathy for him, watching that Stockholm Syndrome from the demented mind of Zach Amico, twisting him slowly, the poison seeping into his brain over time. Finally, Lucas snaps, becomes Twitch, and now he's on his own journey here. And the collision course, I think this hurts Anthony Gangone as much as he wants to get his hands on the Hudson County Horror Show. I wonder if he still feels that there's some part of Lucas and some sort of responsibility for not dragging him out of that sooner.
I can imagine there has to be some sort of remorse is going to be shown on Sunday because Anthony Gangone is definitely a guy that's been known when it comes to battles like this, when it comes to just having to pull out that war, he goes into another side. But I don't know if he's going to want to fully end Lucas here, end Twitch, because I know he
may have to. He may have to.
And that's the scary part. That's the scary part going into this. Because again, we all know the only one to blame here is the demented, just twisted Zach Amico. This is all coming, and he's enjoying this. He's enjoying the pain. He's enjoying the suffering. He enjoyed getting just attacked by Twitch. This is how it all started. That's how that transformation began.
And this could be a release. Anthony Gangone is no stranger to the big moment. Everywhere he's been, including Catalyst Wrestling, this might be the biggest moment he's ever had in Catalyst Wrestling because he needs to overcome this. He needs to put the specter of them away. It's going to be an emotional moment here at Rock the Bell House Sunday, January 22nd.
Definitely so, but here we go. Let's get this comment here from Brandon Lou saying Hudson County is wearing on Gangone. He's been battling them for years, and they're the ones who gained momentum. I'm worried about him. Well, this is true. They've definitely gained that momentum. The numbers game adds a toll, but again, when you think about what Gangone can do in that ring, he's definitely been at odds before but he knows the faction game. He knows this. He's been a part of many groups. He knows how they can collapse. And again, I can't wait to see what Gangone brings on that Sunday.
He's also at his best when backed into a corner. He's even more dangerous, like a coiled snake ready to strike. You think you have him every single time, and then he finds a way. And he might have to find another way on January 22nd.
And this is one of those things, before we move on to the next contest, I do have to talk about Gangone, is even being one of my closest friends, he's the guy, when it comes to stuff like this, it brings something else out of him that no one has seen before. And I feel for a match like this, it might be that we might see another evolution of Anthony Gangone. Because again, like I said, you can call him the Rogue, you can call him One Above All, you can call him Dr. Sleep. But on that night, especially with everything that's happened, even with Valentina getting involved, this might be a different side of Gangone.
That was hard to watch.
It definitely was. And this might cause something else for Twitch that I don't think he's even ready for. But from that, let's now go into another just hard-hitting contest here. A lot of there's a lot going into this one. Because what was supposed to be at Real Folks Blues was a three-way dance here that would feature O'Shea Edwards, the current Sapphire Television champion, Akira, the Deaf Samurai himself, and Ray Jazz, not only fighting for that championship, but fighting for an opportunity at the Callous Wrestling Heavyweight Championship at our anniversary event. Unfortunately, O'Shea Edwards could not compete at Real Folk Blues, where Akira would pick up a victory, though. You'd get the win fair and square in the center of the ring, but that now leaves us to this match here.
It complicates things.
It definitely does, but again, it's so there's so much going on now. Because now, again, we know Akira's game plan. He wants to not only win the Sapphire Television Championship, but he wants to win that Callous Heavyweight Championship. He wants to just be able to destroy the Carter Group one by one.
Well, and it stops with O'Shea Edwards. Of course, due to a misdiagnosed concussion, we saw the comments on our Instagram today from O'Shea Edwards, and he's coming back a man on a mission. He, interim Sapphire Television champ, the Sapphire Television Championship stripped. Now we have this opportunity to see what he can do, because we've seen tension within the Carter Group. We've seen tension between O'Shea Edwards and Darius Carter at times. I think that that's a bit of professional jealousy. And what better way to stem that, because they're both elite level athletes. Anything you can do, I can do better. You've got a championship, I'm gonna be a champion as well. Akira has pissed off. You're gonna see a pissed off Kaiju for sure. Now, Akira has gone to war. He can take an incredible amount of punishment and continue to keep going and keep going and keep going. We've seen it 1,000 times. He's gonna have to. He doesn't have a choice. This is more about survival than it is about winning a match.
And it's one of those as well that, Akira there's so much that goes into this. Akira's mindset going into this, wanting this win, wanting to be able to get his hands once again on Carter. But O'Shea Edwards is going into this with win. He's like a bull right now, seeing red. And Akira does wear a lot of red here. But he's going in with a lot of just anger built up, because I feel like that jealousy also comes with, how do you control a big bad Kaiju? I don't know how Darius has done it for so long with the Carter Group, but I feel like O'Shea Edwards isn't a man that usually wants to follow orders. He wants to be that head of the table, if you will. He wants to be that guy that is just dominating everything that goes through.
They're both businessmen. They both understand that if you consolidate power, you're more powerful. But where does the power stem from is the point of contention we've seen. And depending on who wins this matchup, life might get a lot more interesting for members of the Carter Group.
It definitely will. And again, this is one that I definitely can't wait to see, because it's going to be a fight. And it's one of those that I don't think either of these guys have quit in their mentality. So
No.
it's going to be that never say die attitude that I can't wait to see who will unfortunately have to take that loss, if any. Again, we don't know what could happen at Rock the Bell House here. It's
The
going to
only
be one
people
of
who
those
won't
that
be taking a loss are the people in attendance. That's for damn sure.
this is true. And again, if you haven't already, get your tickets, because if not, you are going to take, unfortunately, that loss because you're not going to be in attendance live and in person. There you go. But from one insane matchup, we're going to another, because just the implications of this match alone. We have a true, again, another veteran of the game, a innovator, Jack Evans, going head to head with the Infinite Man himself, TIM, in a top rope match. Now, for those that might be questioning, what exactly is a top rope match? It means in order to win, you have to hit that maneuver from the top rope, which I feel like when you have these two, that is not asking much, because both of these men feel very comfortable from that top rope. But to now think, what is it going to have to be able to put the other away? What are they going to innovate on that night? Because Jack Evans loves to innovate from the high risk, high reward area. So
both of these men are literal physical artists. They are peak athletes at the top of their craft physically. No one can do some of the things that both of these men can do. And TIM especially is trying to prove that there's a little bit of imposter syndrome, I think, in his brain, where he thinks, why aren't these people giving me the same respect, the same shine? Is it overconfidence? Does he think he's already there? Or is it insecurity? Either way, he's going to have to see and elevate to Jack Evans, and he already thinks he's far beyond it. First ever top rope match for sure. Obviously, they both opposed each other in that matchup where it took a Herculean effort by Rob Killjoy to win. But now, once again, one-on-one top rope match. I think that this is a statement. If I don't like to prognosticate, I don't like to make picks or predictions here. But boy, the momentum and the self-confidence right now that TIM has, it's hard to pick against.
I love that this isn't a prediction show, because it is so hard to predict here.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things of we're at a point here of now, how can you bet against him? How can you bet against TIM when you think about just what he's going in this with? He's going in wanting to prove he is, if not on the same level, better than Jack Evans, which is, again, could it be just a little bit of over-exaggeration when you're thinking about the history here of Jack Evans? Again, he's a veteran of the game. He's been in every major company you could think of. Jack Evans has made his way and has shined in those promotions. He's won championship gold everywhere he goes, and he's looking at those Catalyst championships thinking he needs to add that to his resume.
And remember, he tried to show TIM the respect. He tried to show the respect there, and TIM said he didn't need it, kicking him, degrading him, saying he did not need that anymore.
This is something, again, that I can't wait to see. And then again, adding that stipulation to it. But well, then I'm getting some breaking news here.
Oh, breaking news! Oh boy,
you gotta love getting those messages again. Maybe it's Meltzer itself. I'm not sure.
This isn't the Tanzania thing. That's not happening anymore.
This is some legit things here.
Okay,
that we have.
Wait, my sources are legitimate.
I'm not questioning it. I'm not questioning it. Maybe you have to write a redacted later. Maybe someone else said it. It's I don't know.
There it is.
So something's being sold. I don't know. But no, we're being told here a former Triple Crown champion may be in attendance at Rock the Bell House.
Huh.
A former Triple Crown champion.
Somewhere right now, Brandon Liu is putting on his Carmen Sandiego hat and jacket and trying to investigate right now.
Hey, hopefully we'll have answers, but in order to get that answer, folks, you have to get your tickets now. You have to also be following Catalyst Wrestling on all of their social media because you're going to want to be there and you're going to want to stay up to date with all things Catalyst Wrestling to see who it could possibly be. And again, you're going to want to be there to see all this amazing action we've been talking about. And we still have 2 more matches to go.
Yeah, and if you want to catch up before the event, go to streamcatalyst.wrestling.com to catch up.
There you go. Links for both will be in the description down below. But also, AJ Orsini's put in the chat. So if you're already in the chat, just click on that comment there by AJ Orsini, and you'll go right to the ticket link. Again, unfortunately, VIP is gone. So you're going to have to make sure you get what's remaining. But again, any seat in the house, though, is a great seat.
Except for mine, because I got to sit next to Brandon Liu. First beer is on him. Oh, that's right. Matt Ryan saying 2 weeks free when you sign up for streamcatalyst.wrestling.com.
There you go. What a deal right there. Because again, you get to catch up with all the amazing action and you get to see that last event again featuring the likes of Alex Shelley, featuring Jack Evans, featuring the star-studded roster of Catalyst Wrestling. And someone needs to fire this guy because he's saying that he's the Triple Crown champion. Who is this?
Who is that?
Benjamin Felbo?
Filbo?
Must be French.
Benjamin Philbis?
I don't know.
Regis Philbin. Regis Philbin.
Yep. That's it. It's Regis in the chat. Okay, there you go. I don't know. This guy looks like he wears a pink hat in the ring. I don't know. But
there's another name for that.
But before we get into that, let's go into our next contest here. A very important one at that, because it's going to feature the most prestigious championship in Catalyst Wrestling. It is that Catalyst Wrestling Heavyweight Championship here being defended with not one but 2 just insane challengers here, as Hot Sauce Tracy Williams, Brooklyn's own Hot Sauce Tracy Williams, will be making his Catalyst Wrestling debut here for that Catalyst Heavyweight Championship, as will be defending champion the All-Father Darius Carter, and that second challenger will be none other than Rob Killjoy. To think of the battle Rob Killjoy just went through at Rock the Bell House against Colby Corino, to now have this opportunity is just insane here.
Yeah, for sure. The emotional weight of that finally lifted after being betrayed by, one of his closest friends and family. The Ducks and Colby were like a family. And when Colby turned his back on Rob, it broke all of our hearts. Now, having overcome that, having pushed through that, having had that emotional bloodletting release in that insane match where I think Colby Corino still has splinters in his head from the door shot that he received, now has an opportunity. It doesn't get easier here in Catalyst Wrestling because now he has to go up against the Allfather and Hot Sauce Tracy. Well, the pinnacle, the mountain of this company has always been in the mind of Darius Carter, wrestling's richest prize, the 433-day reign at the top, and he's done it against everybody. Trevor Murdoch, Josh the Goods Woods, in every way. The pure sport of wrestling in his mind belongs to him. He is the paragon of that. I don't like some of his methods. I think there are times where he doesn't need to go into his bag of dirty tricks like he does to get the W. A W is a W. This man could beat you any which way. He is what they call, and I know this phrase is used a lot, ring general. This man, his war is fought here. And if you're not prepared here before you step into those ropes, and that bell has rung, you've already lost. And countless men have fallen to that same thing.
And it's one of those here, especially when you go into a matchup like this. Again, it is it's a triple threat match where already you're at a loss in a sense because the fall could happen without you being a part of it there. Darius already has to play with that in his mind. He could lose his record-breaking reign here.
And we've certainly seen a more paranoid Darius Carter of late.
Can you blame him though? When it's opponent after opponent, high-level opponents here. Just the last two alone have been Anthony Green and Alex Shelley, who again are no small task. And when we go through the names, you're going through Josh the Goods Woods, you're going through JD Drake, you're going through Anthony Green, you're going through Alex Shelley, and all those names have been on our televisions in the last year. And it's one of those that Darius knows that all eyes are on him at the moment. And when you look at this matchup here, where again, it is another one of those situations, do or die, because though he has been champion for so long, he cannot become complacent now. He needs to rise his level even more. And when you're going against a guy like Tracy Williams, who is definitely has that similar style to Darius, he has that ring general style that when he gets in that ring, he's going to want to grab a hold. He's going to want to go to a ligament and just damage something when he locks onto you. That, again, I don't know if Darius is ready for it, especially when you add the heart and soul here of Rob Killjoy. We saw what he went through with a guy that was as close to a brother, a guy that was his own family. Imagine what he would do to be able to finally win the big one here in Catalyst Wrestling.
I'll tell you what, if he was to win on January 22nd, you would see the Bell House roof pop off of the building. People have been behind him for over a year and even further beyond that, rooting for him. And now he's elevated even further into the most prestigious prize in our company. Darius Carter, though, you talk about not being potentially prepared. I'd be remiss if I didn't think that he already has something planned. Now, whether it goes to plan remains to be seen, but he has 4 or 5 layers cerebrally, and I wish I could say that word, where other folks have to get on that level. And now he's going up against 2 who have the heart and the emotion and the technique to match all of those skills. So now I think this might be the biggest threat he's ever had to his championship. And that's saying a lot.
It really is, again, when you look at just, again, that list that we've said time and time again here. But it shows because Darius has been that road warrior here. He has been that journeyman. And going in again, now this is his second, when we look at it again, especially who's in there, the second time he's facing a member of, again, guys that share that mentality as he does, the Foundation. When we look at, he's faced Josh Woods. He's going in there now with Tracy Williams. And again, Rob Killjoy, who also shares that style of having that respect for the ring, respect for the craft. This is going to be a title match I can't wait to see. And it's going to be one for anyone in attendance to enjoy and take note, because this is going to truly be professional wrestling at its finest next Sunday, which again, if you haven't already, get your tickets for this event. This match alone should be a reason that you should have already gotten your ticket. Be ready to be at the Bell House, because it's going to be a rocking night, no pun intended, because it's going to be Rock the Bell House live next Sunday, January 22nd. But again, this card that we've already talked about could be it. Could be all that, could be the reason to get your tickets. But what if I told you, Steve, we still have one more match to go?
One more? I did my best Don West, R.I.P. Be dialing.
Rest in peace, Don West. That one truly, that hurts, especially anyone that just had that love for old school TNA, and especially for what we do and wanting to be a part of the broadcast team. You had to have watched Don West and studied just that charisma that he had and just that love and energy he put into every match he called. And
I watched him selling baseball cards growing up on the whole side. I really did. He was one of my favorite folks. And then he got into wrestling, and then, it snowballed from there. So one more match.
One more match here. And it's funny, we talk about that, especially one of the guys in this next match, because it's this match here that is insane to me because I have grown up on this feud, legitimately growing up throughout the years, almost 2 decades worth of a feud here. When we think about what goes on between the Carinos and the notorious 187 Homicide, and it's the final time here. One last time at Rock the Bell House in an appropriate match for it. Last man standing here. Who will be able to be the final person standing and end this on top of this feud, as it's going to be the last bastion, Colby Carino, former Catalyst Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, going head to head with the notorious 187, a true NYC legend, and also another former Catalyst Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, Homicide.
This is a multi-generational feud, and both men, almost like Sisyphus, tortured to constantly do this dance with this family for Homicide. Colby Carino not only, having inherited the legacy and animosity from the rest of his family here. One final match, last man standing. You know that both of them are going to give everything. The State Athletic Commission better be ready. The AMBO better be circling. The stretcher better be ready. I swear someone's going to get hurt. This is not about technique. This is not about proving anything, but I'm going to inflict as much violence on your family as I can. This is very personal. This is very prideful. And this is something we have seen throughout this entire time, whether it be, tables on fire we've seen with these two. We've seen a Death Island bring them clashing together. And now Rock the Bell House, Sunday, January 22nd. Again, we have one last time. Selfishly, I hate to see it because I could watch it every single time. So I'm going to savor that moment because we're going to see something special.
This is, again, when I tell you, just getting in preparation for this, I've been watching every Steve versus Homicide match and replaying every Colby versus Homicide. And it's insane how every single match is so different. And you know that next Sunday, they're going to truly bring out the best in one another because they want to truly end this at the highest it could be. And you think about, again, just how this feud has been. I think that we talked about earlier with Ron Bass and Wrecking Ball, will that be able to be contained by the Bell House? I don't know if the Bell House is going to be able to contain these two.
We're going to have to get some extra insurance for that.
I hope the commission doesn't just go crazy with this one, because this tension, this feud, it's going to be one that I feel like it's going to be felt all the way in Florida, if you catch my drift.
Yeah.
Because a certain person, a certain mind is going to be just going crazy thinking about this going on.
And both of them have, it's so crazy because they've been at odds for so long, their families, but it's crazy how similar they are as well. When you talk about, they both have this switch that hits where they both become so incredibly dangerous, so incredibly vicious, and so incredibly focused. It's hard to move them off of what they want to do. That's what makes it like a rock between a hard place, irresistible force, immovable object, because either one of them against anyone else would be able to impose their will, their strategy, their agenda on the other. That is not the case here. So familiar with each other because in a lot of ways, they're exactly alike.
And I think that's what causes this feud. This is what causes it. This is what causes that tension, because even though we're able to say it, they don't want to admit that. They don't want to see how close and similar they are, especially Homicide to both this pair of father and son here. And seeing that, again, it just carries, it follows him. He said it. You saw in that video package when we showed to lead to this, that he just can't get away from the Carino name.
It's the Hatfield and McCoys of professional wrestling.
We also have to talk about this, and I know she's going to be there because she's our matchmaker. I don't know how Allison Danger is going to be able to watch this match.
With her hand over her mouth like the rest of people watching, but ultimately she's responsible for putting this together.
This is true, and it's one of those that it's like it's an evil genius moment because again,
yes,
it's going to be an insane match. And again, if you haven't already, and we've said it so much tonight, but again, for a match like this, a match with so much history, especially to the NYC area, when you think about this, we're hoping this night doesn't cause another riot in NYC because we know how that happens with the Crinos. But
yeah,
this is going to be a match that alone you would want to be able to answer. Where were you the last time a Carino faced Homicide?
I feel the weight of the responsibility of being able to call that match. I'm privileged to be able to do that and privileged to be able to share that with each and every one of you Sunday, January 22nd.
That's going to be one that I can't wait to especially be a part of. Being able to be a part of the team that night is going to be a blast. And guys, if you haven't already, go make sure not only are you subscribed to that Catalyst streaming service, which again, if you haven't already, get it now because you're getting those first 2 weeks free. Go follow Catalyst Wrestling on both of their social media here. Make sure you're staying up to date with all things Catalyst Wrestling. The links are also in the description down below where you could do all 3 things we talked about. Follow Catalyst Wrestling, get the streaming service, get the tickets for Rock the Bell House because it's going to be a way to kick off 2023 with a true bang here. And again, you also get to see us here. You get to see us at the show. You get to have fun with us. You get to have a drink afterward because the Bell House does serve some great beverages. So it's going to be a good time.
And again, it's on Brandon Liu. It's on Brandon Liu. You talk to him. He'll set you straight.
He definitely has to get us the alcohol that night because Brandon Liu, it's bad enough you have to deal with him at the desk, but I'm gonna get the residual drinks as well just because.
Yeah, there you go. You've earned it.
I didn't get to drink now. I had to be sober for the episode. So Brandon Liu, you owe me some drinks. But Steve, before I let you go, because after the amazing combo we've been having so far, I have to ask you one final question here. And that is for Stephen James, what is the end goal?
Oh, man, the end goal. I mean, the end goal is, if you're talking in the professional wrestling context, is to be able to be somebody's flashpoint moment, to be able to be the by God, they've killed him, to have that signature call, that signature moment. And I've had a few, but to have that feeling, to walk away from every match with that feeling or one specific match. And it could be, Homicide and Carino. That's the goal. That's the goal, is to walk away with that feeling where, I could take this headset off, walk away, and never do it again because that was a perfect moment. To be present in that perfect moment is the goal. And I hope to see even, close to that moment Sunday, January 22nd. And $1 billion.
That would also be nice, right? Like
$1 million billion, please. Not Tanzanian dollars either. I want real American green.
I was gonna say that deal might still be struck though. I'm getting word it's still on the table. It's either that or it's something else. I don't know. We might get bought out by that guy Lit, but who knows? You never know. He's gonna love that, or he's gonna hate me for it. But hey,
either
way, be there next Sunday again. Rock the Bell House, a stacked event that you're not gonna want to miss. Kick off the year with us. 2023 is gonna truly be just a whole different year for Catalyst Wrestling. It's gonna be insane. You already see just a little taste of what's in store. But again, also follow Stephen James as well. Stay up to date with everything he's doing because it's a great time always to be around this guy. A true, just great mind for not only the wrestling business, for just media itself. Follow this guy. Truly an honor. And thank you again, brother, for joining me here on the podcast.
Thank you, of course. Thanks for having me.
And everyone watching, thank you so much for joining us here We'll see you guys on the next one. As always, don't forget to be wise, be genuine, be real, be better people, respect the craft, and we'll see you at Rock the Bell House. Peace.